This is the last circuit video that I made for you, unless you send me requests to solve some questions online. So here we have the power formula that I have showed you already before in one of the lessons previously. And I know that from Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. So when I plug in, instead of V times I times R, then I will get P is equal to, you have I times R, so that gives you I squared R. Or you can write the power is equal to, instead of replacing V with I times R, you can replace I with V over R. So from this formula, Ohm's law, you can replace I with I equals to V over R. So if you have I equals to V over R times V gives you V squared over R. So there is one formula that you need to know for circuits. It's this one. If you need to calculate the power measured in watts. So the measurements of the power would be watts. But you also can use the substitution to different formulas if you were calculating for power. So let's look at some questions. So the first one, I'm going to look at number 25. Power is given. The power is 100 watts and the resistance is given. They ask you to find the current. So I know that the power is equal to I times V and equals to I squared R, and I equals to V squared over R if I do my substitutions for I and V using Ohm's law. So what is given is the power in the current in the resistance. So what's given is the power in the resistance. So I can find I squared is equal to the power over R. The power is 100 and R is 100. So the current is going to be equal to I squared is going to be, well, this I squared is equal to I, and I is equal to 1 amp. Then they ask you what is the voltage. The voltage is equal to I times R. I is 1 and R is 100. So that gives you 100 volts. Before I move to the next question, I also want to emphasize that it looks like I have here a battery. So it looks like longer on the top and short on the bottom. Longer on the top, short on the bottom. Two batteries connected in series. If you needed to measure the current, you would have to disconnect your circuit and plug in an ammeter to measure the current. And if you want to measure the voltage, you want to plug in the voltmeter parallel to the resistor or the any supply that has resistance in it, and you can measure the voltage parallel to, or measure the potential difference between 2 points. So here is number 28, a different type of question a little bit. They're pretty easy to solve when they ask about the power. So they give you that the lamp draws a current of 0.5 amps and connected to 120 volt source. So calculate the resistance. So I'm going to use V is equal to IR, Ohm's law. Then if I need to find the resistance, that is going to be V over I. V is 120 and I is 0.5. So that gives me 240 ohm resistance. Then they ask you what is the power. The power is equal to I times V. They give you I, which is 0.5. And they give you voltage, which is 120. So that gives you 60 watt bulb. And here's the last question for this video, how to use the power formula. They give you 60-watt lamp is connected to 120-volt battery or source. What is the current through the lamp? So the power is equal to I times V, or V times I, and they give you 60 is the power, I is the one that they ask you, and the voltage is 120. So the current in this case is 0.5 amps. And the next question they ask you, what is the resistance of the lamp? So V is equal to IR. The voltage is 120. I is 0.5. And you're looking for the resistance. So the resistance is 120 divided by 0.5, which is 240 ohm.